Stop lying. The word cut through the classroom like a slap. 20 heads snapped toward the back row. A small black boy stood beside his desk, hands clenched, eyes steady. The teacher laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a confident one. "So now your father is a 4-star general?" she said loudly. A few students snickered. One whispered, "Yeah, right." The boy didn't cry. Didn't argue. He just said quietly, "That's his job, ma'am." The teacher's smile hardened. "Sit down before you embarrass yourself even more." She turned to the class. "This is what happens when people think stories can replace hard work." The boy stayed standing, calm, silent. That's when the teacher added, "And don't worry. I'll be calling your imaginary father today." The room went still. The boy finally spoke. "He's already on his way," the teacher scoffed. "Good. I'd love to meet him." The hallway door handle turned. The door didn't open. Footsteps passed. The teacher smirked like she'd won. She circled the boy's desk. "You know," she said, "lying like this can get you expelled." A classmate muttered, "Told you." Another laughed louder. The boy looked at the floor, not in shame, in control. The teacher leaned down. "What does your father really do? Drive a truck? Clean floors?" The boy's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. The teacher straightened. "I'll call the principal." "We don't tolerate this kind of behavior." She dialed, put it on speaker. "Yes," she said sweetly. "I have a student making dangerous claims." The boy glanced at the clock. Just once, the principal's voice crackled through the phone. "Handle it, I'm busy." The teacher smiled wider. "You hear that? Even authority agrees with me." She turned to the class. "This is what entitlement looks like," the boy whispered, barely audible. "He told me to stay calm." "Who?" the teacher snapped. "My dad." The bell didn't ring, but the hallway grew louder. A knock, soft, polite. The teacher rolled her eyes. "Come in." A school counselor stepped inside. She glanced at the boy. Concern flickered. "What's going on?" the counselor asked. The teacher answered fast. "He's lying about his father's job." The counselor sighed. "Son, it's okay to exaggerate. Just apologize." The boy shook his head. "I can't." "See?" the teacher said. "Defiant?" the counselor hesitated. "Maybe we should wait." "For what?" the teacher snapped. The counselor lowered her voice. "He seems very certain." The teacher laughed again. "Certainty doesn't make lies true." She turned back to the boy. "Last chance." The boy met her eyes. "My dad will explain." The teacher's face hardened. "Then you'll face the consequences together." The counselor stepped back. Silence returned. The boy sat down slowly, shoulders straight, breathing steady. The hallway fell quiet, too quiet. The boy remembered mornings before sunrise. Pressed uniforms, quiet goodbyes. His father never wore medals at home, never bragged, never raised his voice. "Respect doesn't need volume," his dad always said. The boy remembered airports. Salutes from strangers, questions he wasn't allowed to answer. "Why can't I tell them?" he once asked. "Because power works best when it's invisible," his father replied. The boy learned patience, silence, discipline. He learned that people judge first, listen last. Back in the classroom, the teacher graded papers loudly. Each scratch of the pen felt deliberate. The boy's phone vibrated in his pocket. Once, he didn't check it. The hallway echoed again. Footsteps, heavy ones. A second knock, firm this time. The teacher sighed. "Yes?" The door opened slowly. A man in uniform stood there. Perfect posture, 4 silver stars on his shoulder. The room froze. The counselor gasped. The teacher blinked. Once, twice. The man scanned the room calmly. Then his eyes landed on the boy. The boy stood. "Dad," he said. The general nodded. "Son?" No one laughed now. The teacher's mouth opened. Nothing came out. The general spoke evenly. "I was told my son was accused of lying." The principal appeared behind him. Face drained of color, the teacher stepped back. I didn't know." The general raised one hand. "Knowledge wasn't required. Respect was." Students stood without being told. The general turned to the class. "My rank doesn't make my son better than you." He faced the teacher. "But your prejudice made him smaller in your eyes." The principal swallowed hard. The general continued. "This classroom will be reviewed." The teacher's confidence collapsed. The counselor lowered her head. No one spoke. Outside the classroom, the general knelt, met his son's eyes. "You did well," he said quietly. The boy nodded. Back inside, the bell finally rang. Students filed out differently than they entered. The general stood, turned once more. Never confuse silence with weakness. Respect reveals character long before power does.